So here we have a test. We have part one, part two, part three, and part four. That's what we have. So if you look at the screen, you're going to see that at the bottom of the screen, we have part one. Then it says questions. You can see number 1 to 10. Okay. Then we have part two. It says 0 of 10 questions. So what I'll do is let me just click here to start the test.
Number of different recording.
Hold on. So this is part one. This is part two. Part two is what I want to focus on. Part two has a map. There's a map here. That's what I want to focus on. So I want to refresh your mind, okay, in case you did not hear, that when it comes to solving map labeling questions, you need to pay attention to direction specific words or direction markers. In fact, let me even ask. I want you guys to type. Just give me examples of what I mean by direction specific words. I want you to type in the chat box. If you have been following me so far, I want you to type in the chat box. Give me maybe 1 or 2 examples of direction markers or direction specific words. Words that the speakers will use that will let you know, okay, what direction should I look at? What direction should I turn to on the map? I want you to give me examples of direction specific words. I want you to give me examples from what you have heard so far, and then I will type some of them again here on the screen. Let me see. Anybody give me examples of direction specific words. I want you to give me examples, maybe 1 or 2 examples that you're able to pick, that you have been able to pick so far from the lesson. Anybody? Direction specific words or direction markers. I want you guys to give me, just post, just post, just post. Thank you very much. I can see some answers here. Somebody says left, to the left or to the right. Yeah, somebody says walk straight ahead. Straight ahead means just face front. Just go ahead, straight on. Don't turn to the left, don't turn to the right. Very good. Somebody says left, right, forward, just ahead. Okay, thank you very much. Somebody says across. Yes, that's what I was about to say. Across the road. Across the road. Okay. In another audio, you can hear something like this. Across the corridor. Okay. Or you can see something like next door. Next door. Next door tells you, okay, this is what you should look at. Another thing that you will see is something like adjacent. Who can give me another word for adjacent? Anybody? If they say the school is adjacent the library, or adjacent to the library, what does it mean? What other word can we use, or what other phrase can we use to, represent adjacent? Adjacent. You say XYZ is adjacent to PQR. Adjacent. Adjacent means beside, just beside it. Okay? Adjacent means is beside it. Adjacent is not across the road. If we have a road now, if you have a road, okay, and there's a building, let's call it building A on one side of the road, okay? If I cross that road to the opposite side of building A, I see building B on the opposite side of the road. Then building B is not adjacent to building A. Building B is actually opposite building A. But if I look at the side, maybe to the right or to the left of building A, and I see another building, let's call it maybe building C, then we say that what building C is adjacent. Adjacent actually means beside. Adjacent means what? Beside. It could be to the left or it could be to the right. Hope you get my point now. So that is how they use adjacent. So adjacent can also be used. Okay. So we have so many signposting, so many direction markers or direction specific words. Those are things you need to learn to pay attention to whenever you are solving map labeling questions. Okay. Now, another thing I want to say is this. If you are practicing your IELTS listening and you do any set of map labeling questions and you see that you were not able to get many of the questions right, or maybe you struggled with many of the questions, then you need to go back to that audio and replay it slowly. Rewind and replay and rewind and replay until you are able to pick all these direction markers. That exercise is what we call self-correction. That is what you should do. Okay? So somebody does IELTS listening test and then the person got maybe out of 5 map labeling questions, the person got maybe 1/5. okay, or maybe even 0/5, or maybe 2/5. Then what you need to do is, well, okay, after marking and doing everything, you need to go back to that map where you got the low score in, and then carefully play the audio slowly. Feel free to rewind and replay and listen closely to what the speaker says, so that you can track all the signposting words, so that you can track all the direction specific words that they used, and use that to learn. That's how you improve. That's how you improve. Hope you get my point. So we are going to solve this question now, and I'm treating this question because this is a question that somebody sent to me. She told me that she struggled with it. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to play. I'm going to take it slowly. Okay, I'm going to take it slowly because I want you to see what I mean by that stuff I said when I said you do self-correction. If you get something, get a low score in something, you take time to do self-correction. If I do this without doing it slowly, I'm going to pick all my answers, and all my answers will most likely be correct. If I get any one wrong, maybe just one will be wrong. Okay, but I don't want to do that now. What I want to do is I want to take it slowly. You're going to see me rewind and replay and rewind and replay. Because in this particular exercise, the speaker was actually talking quite fast. His accent was also somehow. So that could be a challenge for some people. And the solution to that challenge is what? Rewind and replay. Somebody is thinking, but we are not going to be able to rewind and replay on the exam day. Yes, you are right, but you are not yet in the exam hall. Okay, you are still developing your listening ability. Okay, the way you develop your listening abilities to what is to learn how to pick their accent, and you cannot pick their accent if you don't listen to them. How do you listen to them? You tell them to come again, say it again, say it again, say it again. So if I'm doing IELTS listening, how do I tell the person to say it again? You rewind and replay. That's how to do it. That's how to do it. Okay. So let me play this audio now. I will just fast forward to the point where they start talking about the map. So let's take it from here. I hope you guys are still with me.
To do so at no extra charge. It's just over there on the other side of the entrance to the museum store.
Okay, this is the point. So look at it closely. So first of
I'll
all,
look forward to showing you around. But first I would.
so let's before I play the audio, let's just do a quick analysis of this map. Let's do a quick. So the title of the map is Triton Museum of Art. So this is a museum, ladies and gentlemen. This is a museum. Let me try and okay, I think we can see the old drawing this way now. So this is a museum. At the bottom, we can see the entrance of we can see the entrance to the museum at the bottom. Okay? You can see that the entrance has been labeled. You can see that the rotunda has been labeled. You can see that there's another thing that has been labeled here. Warburton Gallery. Warburton Gallery. So 3 parts have been labeled here. Now you can see all these dots. I guess that all these dots probably represent chairs. I don't know, but they are in the rotunda. Okay, so this rotunda is more like a circular area, more like a meeting point. We can also call it maybe a reception or a waiting area. Okay, so we have the rotunda, we have the entrance. From the entrance, you enter into the rotunda. From this rotunda, you can enter into E. I can see E here. This is probably going to be one of the facilities we want to label. I can see D here, also next to the rotunda. Okay, then from the rotunda, you can go to F. From the rotunda, you can go to Warburton Gallery. Okay, beside the Warburton Gallery, we have a place called G, labeled as G. So from the rotunda to the left, you can see to the left, I am imagining myself here in the rotunda. You always face forward anytime you are starting with the map, with any map. You always face forward. So if I stand here and I'm facing forward, I'm facing, look at this way, look at the direction I'm pushing my red highlighter. That's what I mean by face forward. Just facing this, look towards this direction, okay? So if I'm looking towards this direction and I'm standing in the rotunda, what is to my left? A is going to be to my left. B is going to be to my left. C will be to my left. Can you see? And then what is going to be to my right? F is going to be to my right. Do you understand now? So that's very straightforward. Now I'll need to move some towards this direction that I'm pushing my red highlighter to go to the Warburton Gallery or to go to room G. Okay, so all these things are things you need to take time to study and see, okay, in what direction do we have the different parts of the map? What parts of the map have been labeled? These are things you register before the audio recording starts. Now let's play the audio recording.
11 to 15.
Okay, so it says,
good afternoon to you all, ladies and gentlemen.
So the first thing we are labeling is 11, cloakroom. Then we have permanent collection, gallery, storage room, cower room, staff room, and kitchen. So the person starts by greeting people. He says, a very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm glad you've chosen to visit the prestigious Triton Museum.
And you see, has mentioned Triton.
And I'll look forward to showing you around.
Okay.
But first, I would just like you to refer to the maps of the museum that you picked up on your way in.
So he says, I want you to refer to the maps of the museum that you picked up on your way in. Let me ask you guys a question. The man says that you picked up on your way in. What does that tell you? Are they inside the museum or they are outside the museum? Who can tell me? From that sentence, I want you to refer to the map of the museum that you picked up on your way in. So where are they? By saying that, where are those people? Where is that speaker? Where are the people that he's talking to? Are they inside the museum or are they outside? Notice what he said again, that you picked up on your way in. If I tell you that you picked up on your way, what does that mean? It means you're already inside. I did not say that you will pick up when you want to enter. That's not what I said. I said that you picked up on your way in. In other words, when you enter, you picked something. So I'm talking to people who have already entered. So that means that they are already inside. Now, if they are inside, that means they are most likely in the rotunda. It's not likely they're anywhere else because that is the first place that they will enter into, after passing through the entrance. Okay? So keep that in mind. Let's go on.
Now, where you picked up your maps is just to the left as you enter the building outside the museum store.
Can you hear that? Where you picked up the map is just to the left as you enter the building. Let me say that again. Where you picked up the map is just to the left. So if this is the entrance, I want you guys to tell me, where did they pick up the map? Did they pick it up in D or E or C? Where did they pick up the map? Who can tell me? Where did they pick up the map? He said, where you picked up the map is just to the left. That's it. D, that's the answer. Very straightforward. So that tells me that what? They picked up the map most likely inside room D. Let me rewind a little bit and then we listen to that part again.
You've chosen to visit the prestigious Triton Museum of
today, Triton Museum
and I'll look forward to showing you around.
Okay.
But first, I would just like you to refer to the maps of the museum that you picked up on your way in.
On your way in.
Now, where you picked up your maps is just to the left as you enter the building outside the museum store. By the way, the store is a great place to pick up some souvenirs before you leave.
So he says, now he wants to talk about the store. So he said that I can't see anything like store on this list from 11 to 15. Store is not on the list. So let's just continue and see what he wants to say. Let's just continue with the audio.
Oh, and if anyone wants to leave a coat in the cloakroom.
Can you see that now? If anyone wants to leave the coat in the cloakroom, now he wants to talk about cloakroom. Now pay close attention.
Then please feel free to do so at no extra charge. It's just over there on the other side of the entrance to the museum store.
It's just over there. let me rewind that up so that we can pick it accurately as he said it.
At the museum store. By the way, the store is a great place to pick up some souvenirs before you leave.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and if anyone wants to leave a coat in the cloakroom,
Okay, hold on. Let me rewind this. I can't hear anything
please
again.
feel
Okay.
spacious area we're now standing in is the. By the way, the store is a great place to pick up some souvenirs before you leave.
Okay, the store.
Oh, and if anyone wants to leave a coat in the cloakroom,
Cloakroom.
then please feel free to do so at no extra charge.
Uh-huh.
It's just over there on the other side of the entrance.
Over there on the other side of the entrance. The other side. Listen to what he said. Over there on the other side. So this is the entrance. He has already talked about one side, which is what? The left side. So what is the meaning of other side? Can you see direction specific word? Other side is referring to this side where you have E. Over there on the other side of the entrance.
The museum store.
So over there on the other side. So that means the answer to cloakroom is going to be what? It's going to be option E. Okay, let's go on.
Okay, so this nice spacious area we're now standing in is the rotunda.
Can you see rotunda?
It contains some of the museum's most striking sculptures.
Okay.
From here, you gain access to all the museum.
Okay.
Leading off from the rotunda are the Warburton Gallery and our other large gallery that houses a permanent art collection.
He has mentioned Warburton.
We'll be starting our tour actually in the permanent collection gallery,
Hold
as
on.
it's the nearest of the two galleries to the entrance.
He says we are going to be starting.
Way afterwards.
We are going to be starting in the permanent collection gallery. That's number 12. And he said it's the nearest. Now look at it. They've labeled one gallery here. I suspect that this is also going to be a gallery because it's as big as Warburton Gallery. And A is also going to be a gallery. Most likely. I don't know yet. But if you look at these three, 1, 2, 3, A, F, and Warburton, which one is the closest to Rotunda? He uses the word closest. To me, the closest is going to be F. So my answer to permanent collection is going to be what? It's going to be F. Using that word, using that word closest as my guide.
Leading off from the rotunda,
so I'm going to pick F.
Gallery and our other large gallery.
Listen, we must master this thing called map labeling question. It must not give you headache at all. You must not allow map labeling questions to give you headache at all.
It contains some of the museum's most striking sculptures. Then please feel free to do so at no extra charge. It's just over there on the other side of the entrance.
That's cloakroom. He's talking about cloakroom. Next, permanent collection.
So this nice spacious area we're now standing in is the rotunda.
Rotunda.
It contains some of the museum's most striking sculptures. From here, you gain access to all the museum.
Okay.
Leading off from the rotunda, the Warburton Gallery and our other large gallery that houses a permanent art collection.
Okay.
We'll be starting our tour actually in the permanent collection gallery.
We are starting here.
The nearest of the two galleries to the
nearest. He says it's the nearest, so that's most likely going to be F. Okay. Nearest. Let's go on.
Way afterwards to the other gallery I mentioned, as it's right next door.
We make our way to the other gallery as I mentioned, as it's right next door. So if what's it called? If permanent collection gallery is here, which other gallery is next door? Can you see it's going to be Warburton? Can you see it's Warburton? So that shows you that what? The answer to this number 12 is going to be F, permanent collection gallery. It can't be A, okay? And it can't be G because this G looks like a hidden corner. This place can't be a gallery. It's too small. It's going to be most likely going to be something else. Okay. So, and it can't be E. We have already used E. So my answer to number 12 is going to be what? It's going to be F. Okay. Now let's go on. Let's move on to the next. Let's continue with the audio.
Oh, the smaller room behind the Warburton Gallery that you see on your maps is just a storage space for the museum.
Can you see the smaller room beside the Warburton Gallery? That's referring to G. The smaller room beside the Warburton. Can you see that they are mentioning parts of the map that are already labeled? That's what I said earlier when I said identify signposting words. What are signposting words for map labeling questions? Signposting words are words on the map, parts of the map that have already been labeled. So you see, it mentions Warburton Gallery and uses that to reference to G. That word. This G is like the store. That's number 13. So number 13 is going to be what? It's going to be G. It's going to be G. I hope you guys agree with me on that. Let me know if you agree. Just type in the comments in the Zoom chat. Let me see. Yes, I agree. Now let's go on with the audio.
And access is blocked off to the public by a railing across the
I see.
entrance to
Railing.
that area.
Access is blocked off by this railing.
So now, where were we? Ah, yes. After we visited those galleries, which will take us a good hour as there are so many interesting exhibits.
He said after we visited those galleries, what is he referring to? He's referring to Gallery F and Warburton Gallery. Two galleries. After we visited those galleries, which will take us well over 2 hours. That's what he said. I think 1 hour, 2 hours.
To see. We'll make our way back across the rotunda and visit.
Can you see what he said now? We'll make our way back across the rotunda. If we are coming back to the rotunda, so we first of all entered F. From F, we went next door to Warburton Gallery. And then he quickly mentioned this one as a storage room. So he says we'll make our way back across the rotunda. Listen closely now.
The Cowl Room.
Cowl Room.
It's right at the far end of the museum, on the opposite side of the rotunda to the...
At the far end of the museum. Can you see another direction marker? Direction specific word. At the far end. What is at the far end? So we have covered everything on this side. What is on the other end? That's going to be A. That's Cowl Room. That tells me that Cowl Room is going to be what? It's going to be option A. Cowl Room. At the far end. Can you see the direction marker there? Direction specific word.
And permanent collection galleries. It's one of the museum highlights and contains some high-quality contemporary art.
Let me rewind a little bit.
After we visited those galleries, which will take us a good hour as there are so many interesting exhibits to see.
Okay.
We'll make our way back across the rotunda and visit the Cowl Room.
Cowl Room.
It's right at the far end of the museum.
Far end.
Opposite side of the rotunda to the Warburton and Permanent Collection Galleries.
Opposite side of the what? Of the museum. In other words, it is opposite where Warburton is located. So Warburton Gallery is located on the right side of our map. If you are looking at it as I'm looking at it now, Warburton is on the right side. Permanent collection is on the right side. So if they say Cowl Room is on the opposite side, what does that mean? That's pointing at A. So Cowl Room is going to be A. Very straightforward. Okay?
It's one of the museum highlights and contains some high-quality contemporary art exhibits.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to point out the ladies and gents' toilets earlier.
I forgot to point out the ladies and gents' toilets. Now, what he wants to tell us is toilets. Where is toilet located? Listen closely, everybody.
They're just before you get to the Cowl Room and...
He says just before you get to the Cowl Room. Now, if I say just before you get to the Cowl Room, there are two possibilities. Who can tell me the two possibilities from this map? If I say the toilets are located just before the Cowl Room, there are two possibilities. It's going to be either one of the two possibilities. What are the two possibilities for the toilets? Who can tell me? What are the two possibilities for the toilets? Is either going to be B or C? That's it. Very correct. Just before you get to the Cowl Room, can you see another direction marker? Just before. Just before. Now listen closely so I will know which one to pick. Is it B or is it C? We can't write B and C. It has to be one of the two. Listen closely now.
Are adjacent to the museum store.
Let me rewind a little bit.
Room opposite the toilet of the museum, on the opposite side of the rotunda to the Warburton and Permanent Collection Galleries.
Okay.
It's one of the museum highlights and contains some high-quality contemporary art exhibits. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to point out the ladies' and gents' toilets earlier. They're just before you get to the cowl room and are adjacent to the museum's store. Don't go into
Adjacent.
the room opposite.
Listen to this. It says adjacent to the museum store. He said the toilets are just before cowl room and adjacent to the museum store. So what is the answer to toilets? We are not labeling toilet. Toilet is not on the list. But let me ask you, which one is toilet? Is it B or C? He said it's adjacent to the museum store. So what is toilet going to be? Thank you. Toilet is going to be C. At the beginning, we saw that D is like the store. That's where they picked the what's it called? The map from. A place where they sell stores. That's what he said at the beginning. A store. Store is different from storage room. Don't mix up the two. Store in this case is like a super store. A store where they like a supermarket. Let's put it that way. So adjacent to the store. That means that's option C. Adjacent to the store. Okay, let's go on.
In some high-quality contemporary art exhibits. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to point out the ladies' and gents' toilets earlier. They're just before you get to the cowl room and are adjacent to the museum's store.
Store, that's C.
Don't go into the room opposite the toilets. That's our staff room area and kitchen.
So don't go into the room opposite the toilet. What is the room opposite the toilet? That's option B. That is the staff and kitchen room. I mean staff room and kitchen. So that tells me that what? The answer to number 15 is going to be what? Is going to be option B. Can you see that? You see this thing I just did now? This is what I call thorough, intensive self-correction. You take the time to pause, rewind, replay to track word for word what the speaker is saying, and you use it to track your answer on the map. You can use this approach to all the other question types in IELTS listening. It helps to build up your listening skills. It helps you to become more familiar with different accents, with the accent of different speakers when it comes to what? IELTS listening. It's an exercise that you need to engage in whenever you see that your scores are always lower than 30. Okay, if you have done lots of IELTS listening practices and you see that your scores, you have too many scores lower than 30, then you need to engage in this kind of exercise more often so that you can learn how to track their answers and get, as many questions right as possible. Hope you get my point. So I'll just submit. I've only done 11 to 15. I'm just going to submit based on that, and then I will just see, let me see whether my answers, let me see the answers, whether my answers are correct. So let's submit and review. Submit and review. So it's calculating my score now. So our focus is on 11 to 15. Can you see? All my answers are correct. Can you see? Map labeling question. So this second one this one that we did, it looks a little bit, is relatively more challenging than many other map labeling questions that you come across. Well, you see, on the exam day, it's possible you come across a map labeling question that is challenging like this one, or you come across one that is easy. Whatever the case, don't let any question set in IELTS listening destabilize you. Some people will come across a question and then they will get destabilized, and they will not be able to solve other questions after that map question. They will just be getting worried. They will just be getting worried about that map question that they didn't do well in. That shouldn't be. If you realize that you did not do well in a particular set of questions, just forget it and focus on the one you are facing next. You understand now? Don't let any question throw you off balance. That is extremely important when it comes to what? IELTS listening. So for IELTS listening, take the time to practice. Do lots of practices. You can do your practices on this website, IELTSonlinetests.com. Another website where you can practice is IELTStrainingonline.com. Look at this site, IELTStrainingonline.com. If you go to this site, just come to listening, click on listening and you can pick Cambridge practice test and begin to take them one by one. You have Cambridge practice test, CAM 20, You have from CAM 10. Yeah, I think it starts from 10 all the way to 20. Okay, so you can just pick CAM 20. For this one, you cannot type your answer inside the computer. You are going to have to write your answer on a piece of paper. So you write your answer on a piece of paper as you are listening, and then after you finish writing your answers, you now come to the bottom of the website. Look at the bottom here. You are going to see answers. You can see answer to CAM listening test. You click on this part one, you use this to answer. You use this to mark your work, part one, part two, part three, and part four. This is what it's going to look like on a computer. On a phone, it's going to look a little bit different, but you are going to see all these things there. So you can also use these websites to do your what? Your listening practice. Everyday practice is important when it comes to IELTS listening. And we are going to be, like I said, we are going to be sharing the links with you in the WhatsApp group. We are going to be posting 2 links every day for you to practice with. I hope you get my point. So I'm going to wrap it up on that note. If you have any question on this issue, on this IELTS listening, you can just drop the question. I will attend to it later on.